Hello everyone, welcome back to a new video. In today's video, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make a map in Roblox. All the fundamental things you'll need, how to sell it, how to find clients, and basically how to just take 3D modeling commissions. This might be a multiple part series where I break down the steps to making a map and finding a client. But I want to teach you guys the fundamentals and set you guys up because I was 16, 17, I'm now 18 years old making a lot of money off of just doing stuff like this, which is, it's not hard to pick up on and it's really worth it. So if you guys just follow these steps and you practice, I promise you'll make money off of it. Enough talking, so we're going to jump into it. The first thing we're going to do is, we're going to go to create. And we're going to go to create new, and we'll open up a base plate, and we're going to edit it. Now, I just want to say, since I've already established a name for myself, like I have a Twitter and stuff, it might be easier for me to sell. Like I have a good reputation, stuff like that. So if you guys would rather me start on a new account, be anonymous, whatever, I could do that just to prove a point that it is, it's still profitable regardless of however long you've been practicing, as long as the skill set's there. So let me know what direction you want me to take this series, but today we're just going to start on the design of the map. So I'm going to start with a basic simulator map. We're going to do, I'm going to do like a main area and then some worlds you can progress through. Yeah, so what I usually do is I start with a part and I start laying out like my areas. So I'm going to do about 300 by 300 for the size. This will be the main lobby area. I'm going to color it green, just a color for the grass, right? I see a mistake a lot of people make when they do their grass for their simulators. They do it like something like, let me color it real quick. They do something like this, or wait, something like this or this, and it's not really appealing to the eyes. So try to be mindful of that when you're choosing your colors, because if it's too oversaturated, it'll really take away from your map. One thing that I've learned, and I've teach people a lot, is that if it's not adding to it, it's taking away from it. So if your grass is not visually pleasing, then it's taking away from the scene all around. So just keep that in mind. We're going to start with the main hub area. We'll do, let's make it extend out a little bit. Alright, we're going to do extend out, and then it'll lead to this zone, which will make it go this way instead of your traditional straightforward one. And you can kind of make it vary however you want. You know, you can stagger it like a board game, just so players don't get bored of walking in a straight line. The design is ultimately yours. Let's say we'll do that many zones, and then each episode we can design a new zone or something. So that's 11. We can leave it at 10 for now, just so we'd have a solid 10 episodes, and we'll see from there how much you guys are interested in it. I'm going to start by just naming off areas. So we'll have the hub right here, which is the main area. Let's do a little VIP section right here. I'm going to change it, make it about 50 studs smaller, like this. And just line it up properly. Something like that. And I'm going to color coordinate it just to make it easier to navigate everything. So for the VIP zone, we'll do a golden, and we'll obviously change it later, but that's just for organizing right now. Next, we'll do a snow zone, sure. We'll do a desert area. We'll do a, let's see. We could do a, see, I'm making this up as we go. Let's do aquatic ocean area, fiery area. We could do, let's see, let's just look at areas. Let's do a space area, a magma, oh that's this one, then we'll do a, let's do, I'm making this up, so let's do a sweet area, so like candies and stuff. How about I let you guys pick the last 4? So we'll do those, and throughout the series we can vote each day or something on whichever one we want to do next. Okay. So now we're gonna just return our focus to the hub. I'm gonna make it wider. Let's make sure everything's anchored. And we're gonna use this texture pack that I already have saved. So I'm gonna go to my inventory, and I already made this public to you guys. You guys can all access it. Just go to my inventory. It is texture parts right here. I'm gonna add a nice sky too, and we'll play with the lighting a little bit in a minute. So I'm gonna copy this first texture, and I'm just gonna paste it into the grass, and I'm gonna move these parts to the side. Again, just pasting it here, here, and so on. So there's a term in software engineering. It's called dry, and what it means is don't repeat yourself. So I'm gonna be teaching you guys that during this series, and what it means is like you're gonna make a lot of assets and a lot of code or whatever you're doing to make a game, and you don't want to have to do it all over again. So we're gonna make like trees and rocks and stuff like that, but we're gonna make it to where we can reuse the same assets and we don't have to make new trees every time. And that'll save us a lot of time, a lot of money, and it'll be better for us in the long run. Alright. So today we're going to start with our trees. We're going to do some classic cartoony trees that you guys see in a lot of simulators. Just because this is a beginner tutorial and I don't want to make it too overwhelming for anybody just learning how to make maps and stuff like that. So we're going to start out with a basic pine tree. So what you're going to need is a cylinder, and this is going to be the base of the tree, the trunk. Maybe we'll make another tree in this as well. So I'm going to change the vertices to about 15. As you guys can see here, just click this little add cylinder, change it to 15. And what it does is it lowers the amount of faces you see, and it gives it that cartoony look that a lot of developers try to use. Next, using edge select tool, we're going to select this. You can either alt right click or select the face as a whole. And we're going to scale it down just like that. And scale it in, rotate it, whatever. This is the part where you get creative and you style your tree however you want it to be. Some people could just do a straight cylinder, whatever you want really. It's up to you. Just keep scaling in and moving it up. It's not that hard, don't panic. And once you're happy with that, what we're going to do is select faces up here, alt right click, select the top face as well. We're going to shift D to duplicate, rotate it, drag it down, and scale it in. And that's a little branch. Just repeating that last step a few more times, we're going to add some cute little branches to our build. just like so. One more maybe. And that'll be our tree trunk. So as you guys can see, there's a lot of excess edges and stuff. If you're newer to 3D modeling, it won't matter as much to you. But if you've kind of been in the industry for a while, you'll understand that these are not good for your game long term, because your game has to load in all these triangles, all these edges, all these faces, all that, and it's going to slow down your game's loading time. It'll make it laggy for lower end devices, and it's not really good for your game. So what we're going to do is select every other one, and we're going to hit X and dissolve edges. As you guys can see, we have kept the same shape, but we cut that in half, and it'll optimize the mesh a lot for lower end devices and just for your game in general. It'll play, you know, it's the little things like this that go a long way, especially in games where you reuse the same mesh over and over, like we're going to do this one. So if we use this tree, let's say 50 times in all the different zones, it would have to load double the amount of triangles and polygons and all that, which is why we optimize it like this. And in my opinion, it also looks better. I prefer this blocky, cartoony look to a regular one any day. So just play around with that and dissolve the ones you don't need. To dissolve, all you have to do is press X. When you're happy with the shape of your tree and you've also optimized it a little bit, we're going to go into edit mode, press A to select everything. We're going to go to faces and we're going to set shade smooth. First, it's going to look kind of weird. All you have to do now is go to this little tool right here. Oh my gosh, this triangle right here. We're going to go to normals and we're going to turn on auto smooth. And that just smooths out. And if we look at before, so if we set the faces to flat again, you can see these lines, these curves, all these. But if we turn on auto smooth and set it to smooth again, you can't see it anymore. So it just cleans up the shape a little bit for you, and I like it a lot. Next, all we need is the top of our tree. I'm gonna go for one of those cool cartoony like Vesteria looks, ones that you see a lot in simulators especially. So what we're gonna do is just add mesh cylinder, and we're going to move it to the top here. We're gonna scale it up just like that. Alt right click the edges along a loop, scale it in and drag it down just like that. Duplicate it again. This one you scale down a little bit, make it a little bit smaller. You can scale the whole thing up as a whole just to make sure it's proportional. And I usually only do about 3, so I'm just going to duplicate it one more time, scale it up, and drag it up like that. Next, we're going to join them all together. We're going to set our faces to smooth again, and turn on auto smooth. You can also bump up this angle a little bit to make it more smooth. Doesn't really matter too much. If you want to, you can collapse that edge just to come to a perfect point at the top. For me, I don't like my stuff so uniform, so I'm just going to tilt every other one just to give it a unique shape to it, like so. And that'll do it. That is your tree. I'd recommend leaving the top and bottom separate for recoloring purposes. In this episode, we're not going to texture. I'm just going to leave it the way it is, and we can texture in later episodes. So what we're going to do is go to File, Export, Wavefront.obj. We're going to hit Selection Only, so we only take out the leaves, and we're going to export it. Make sure to name yours if you need to. Next, we're going to insert Object, Mesh Part. Go to Mesh ID and open up the object you just exported. I think it should be this one, but it might be another one. Let's export again. Importing. Oops, that was the wrong mesh. sure everything's correct. File, export, Wavefront or .obj. We're saving it to my documents, and there it is. Don't know why it didn't work the first time. There it is. Alright, so when you import, right here, when it says your mesh contains locational data, this just means the position of your mesh. So what we're going to do is just hit yes, and it'll bring it to the right position. Like that. We're going to copy and paste that same mesh. Select the bottom of the tree. File, export, wavefront.obj. Export it again. And when we import the other piece to it, like so, they'll be aligned perfectly. If it doesn't load in the first time, just do it again, import it again, like this. There it is. Alright, so you notice it's pink at first. All we have to do is change the color in Studio now. I'm going to scale it up a little bit, and I'm going to turn off cast shadow. I'm going to set the material to smooth plastic on both of the meshes. You can set all of the meshes to, or all the parts to smooth plastic as well. Make sure it's anchored so it doesn't fall apart. And we're going to set the trunk to a nice brown color. This might be a little too dark, so I'm just going to bump it up to a tan, kind of beige color like that. And then the leaves, I usually make them match the grass, but if you want the trees to stand out quite a bit, you can bump up the color of that as well. So you're happy with that, just group it and make sure to name it tree. Oops. And now you can begin copying it, pasting it, scaling it up a little bit. You can even select the leaves and make some shades darker, just to make them a little bit different from each other. And we're just going to place a bunch of trees around our map. Try to avoid the center of the map just because we'll be putting shops and other things there. And of course you can always come back and edit those in the future. But for today, we're just going to get the trees and the layout done. If you guys want me to continue this series, and if you have area suggestions, make sure to let me know in the comments, and I'll probably have another episode up this weekend. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.